Here we are. All right, today we also have YouTube. So let's grab the chat. What's this? Pop out chat. Ciao Simone. Buongiorno, buongiorno, buongiorno. Chat here. And we're ready to go. We're gonna do something cool today. I think, I believe, I suppose, I hope. Just to confirm how unpredictable game development is, this morning during a stream this morning, I actually managed to do almost all the work for multi-threaded physics. So yesterday, if you remember, there were a couple of things that I was like, okay, it's gonna take me like 10 minutes to do this, 10 minutes to do that. And one of these 10 minutes task turned into a 1 hour and a half fight with Vulkan. Unexpected fight with Vulkan. Well, this morning everything went really smooth. So now we have the game running pretty much like all my other games out there. So Assetto Corsa, Idle Generation, Netcar Pro, all these games have this kind of multi-threaded physics that is running on a completely separate thread at constant rates. And then you have a game that is completely separated. So up to this morning, the tennis game was a single-threaded affair. Now is this multi-thread. It's the first time where the reason for doing it this way is not really dictated by performance. So I didn't do it because of performance. The game doesn't really require, it doesn't gain anything from running on a different thread, the simulation, because the simulation is very simple. The main reason is really to be very consistent with the way we time the inputs, the player inputs. It's a game that is where the timing of your shots is arguably at the moment the most important skill part of the game. So obviously, my decision was really driven by that fact. So we have that working, and what we're gonna try to do today is something else that could become kind of unique feature of the game, which is this idea of multiple matches, right? So the idea is that when we run this game, and again, I go through the entire, so I'll let the AI play while I'm babbling. So the entire idea for this game is that we're not trying to do a game about professional players playing on the center court of Wimbledon. We're doing more a game of about junior players, junior college players, climbing the ladder to become professional players, right? And the point is that you don't really play in an environment where you are on the center court with 30 people watching, but you're playing in a kind of environment of a tennis club where, it's just a tennis club, right? It's a tennis club. So you could play anywhere on these courts. And the idea is, okay, wouldn't it be cool if while you're playing, there are also other match going on other courts? And today we're going to try to implement that. So it's going to require a couple of things. But now that we have the multi-threaded system in place, first of all, it's totally fine. We can stress a little bit. We can give something to do to that simulation thread, more than a single game. And then see how the rest of the game goes on. I suspect that one of the things that I'm gonna not going to be happy is going to be the loading time, because we're gonna, for now, we're going to reload the player 3D over and over. So that probably is not gonna be ideal. But eventually, right now I'm still loading the 3D models from a GLB file, which is not, strictly speaking, optimized for being read very quickly. So there is a lot of gain to be had there. So it's not a big problem. But you know, obviously, if we start to have like 9 matches in a club like this, then the loading time might start to become a little bit annoying while I'm working, and especially in debug mode. So we'll see. So that's the plan for today. Okay, so the first place to start is really something called the match avatar, which right now, okay, so it kind of does what we want. So it's got players, it's got avatar. It's called this match data, and this match data has an important element, which is this court number. And this could be the way that we actually realize, okay, so we're talking about this match or the other match. So the first thing to do is in the tennis level. So in the tennis level, so right now we have the match avatar. So we're gonna turn this into a vector of match avatars. So this becomes match avatars. Okay. And let's see how the code is gonna change for this. So right now, this is how we create a match. So we're still happy about this. So match avatar is over here. So for now, let's just do a very simple change like this. And this becomes our match avatars. Okay. Match avatars. Then what is next? Okay, so next we have update camera system. So update camera system, for now, we can do something that basically says the match avatar that we are looking at is really self match avatars 0. All right. So now if we grab this, hopefully we are okay. Luckily, all these things, this is a big advantage when you write code and you know that you're kind of going in a certain direction. And that allows you to not really write what you eventually you want to do, but you write your code in a way that you know that you're kind of compatible with what you're trying to do. Okay, this one is going to be a little bit more complex. So what is happening here is that we got this. So, okay, so one thing that we need to get rid of for sure is this match state, right? So right now we have the change that we did this morning is like we have a vector of the match states, which are a recap coming from the simulation thread of what happened in a simulation step. So we have the match state that we received in this frame. And then we have this match state and match stats, which define the state of the match. But now we don't have one match, we have more than one match. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab these and we're going to move them to the match avatar. Match avatar is this, an interesting match avatar already has a match state. So again, you know, very similar approach. So the only new is this match stats. So we're gonna make match stats default. Okay. And now in the tennis level, we have a couple of things that don't exist anymore. All right. So we cannot do this anymore. Die Hard from YouTube. Hey Kunos, been watching since you started this in Jai. Game is making solid progress. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you very much for the kind words. Okay, so we receive a match stats, and I think we're missing something here because we need to be able to know. Right. So I received this match stats, and it's like, okay, but which match we're talking about? Right. So we need to include this. So one thing that we could do probably is to do it here in stats. So we turn this into a struct enum where we have the stats and we also have a court number. So the court number, again, is going to be the thing that we use to match between the simulation match and the match avatar on the game side. So this should only change here, where basically match stats, we're going to pass the stats as match stats. And how does this work? Send match message. What's wrong here? Match message. Where are we? Is there something wrong in here? Stats, court number, match stats. Okay, so what's wrong with you? So right, okay. Okay, and court number is gonna be sim data court number as U8, because I think it's a U size internally. Yeah. Okay. So this is on this side. And this one, so it's going to be match stats. So it's going to be stats and court number. And I think we're going to solve it right here. So here, what we're going to do, if we can, is say if let's some match avatar equal self what's wrong? Yeah, match avatars ether mute, and I'm not sure we can do this. So let's see if Rust is bitching. Expected, yeah, ether mute find. Basically, we're trying to look a match avatar where the court data is equal to court data. Court number. So court data, court number is equal to court number as U size. Okay, so can we do this? Okay, so maybe we can do it. We don't know because there are more errors here. But basically the idea is that here we do match avatar, match stats, right? And stats. right? And we can also rename this probably into stats, because it's obviously talking about something in the match. Okay. Next is, so now we really have to do this work here, right? So one thing that we need to do, so do we have in match avatar, we will need something. Okay, so we have an update. We have match state, but instead of a match state, now we're going to send in current frame match states, right? It's going to be something like this. Very well. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cycle through the match states in current frame states iter, right? And match, okay. And then we're going to say if ms, what's wrong here? Match state iter, why you don't like this? It's not if, it's for, right? So ms quart number. So if ms, and we can do it probably with a filter. Let's be functional. So filter from ms quart number has to be the same as, so the same as self data quart number as u8, right? So it means this is going to be so quart number, so this one is it is actually a u size, so I don't have to do this. That was in the other thing, no? The stats. So here we can do now self match state equals sum ms, right? Okay, and now we can do if let sum match state is self match state as ref. We do all this, right? We do this update. That makes sense, right? So let's go back here, see what we're doing here. So this is a debug trajectory, and I wonder why we're doing it here. Because I bet that we're doing this somewhere else as well in render GL. So I wonder why we're not doing this up here. We really don't care about this. I really don't want to care about this. This is a debug thing. Let me stick a to-do debug pull trajectory multi-match. I don't want to think about it right now. Okay, so this one, it's a complication that we will have to sort out. Right? So here we go. This is the update. So here what we're going to do is for match, we can do it with a single line. So we can do match avatars, ether, mute, footage, right? We do MA update and we pass in the self current frames and we pass the scene. Okay, so this updates all the matches avatars. This is the stuff for the shot feedback. So shot feedback. All right. Update camera system. Update camera system gets a match state. And I think the way we're gonna do this is, so we cannot do this. So this one, let me grab this 1 second, because these belong together. So here we're gonna do if let's some match state equal self match avatar. So we grab the first match avatar, match state as ref, right? So if we have a match state in the first match avatar, we do this, we do this. What is tennis club update doing? The lights. All right. This is really, yeah, no. Probably we can just run this one time, but that's fine. And then we run the audio for now only on one match state. Okay, so this is wrong. So update audio, we don't have to pass this anymore. Okay, so the way we're gonna do this, so tennis audio, because one is for the players and one is for all the other match states, which is a little bit confusing. So this one is a little bit of a complication. So let's do this. So let's do update audio. No, hold on. Hold on. So where are we? Tennis level up. Okay, so we were here when we were calling update audio. So update audio, we're gonna do it up here with the match state that we have. So here it was wrong that we didn't. Okay, hold on. Let me think. So update audio. So here what we can do is that if it's a little bit annoying, this thing, some match state equal, I have to rethink about this. Self match avatars 0 match state as Yeah, there is a lot of things that don't really work here. I have a feeling that we might need possibly a separate audio. We might need a separate audio for every single match. I think so. Anyway, let's continue. Wow, that's a lot of it's a lot of stuff. Here we're checking the winner, and again we're working with the main match. And here we go. So here we go with the problems. So we started to have all these problems, right? So we cannot call these. It makes sense because at the end of the day, I'm passing in this because this doesn't make any sense, right? Why update camera system? You know, we have this information. This used to be a local variable, right? But now we really don't have to pass it. But the problem is that we also cannot do this, right? Which is a much bigger problem. So let's have a look here. So I think what is happening is that we don't have to do that. I think we need to do every single function. We'll have to basically do this kind of operation, right? Which makes total sense. So camera system, we don't get the match state passed in, but we're gonna do. So we can do this blah 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 up to the point where we need a match state, right? So match avatar is this, and match state. So we're already doing the job. So match state is basically match avatar. So basically what we want to do is if let sum, so the thing that we were doing, if let sum match state equal match avatar match state as ref, right? And we do all this shit. Blah 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 blah. Look at this, so much stuff. And probably we can stop here. Okay. So does it make sense? So now this is match state. Yeah. So this all makes sense in this function. So that this function is cool. Now let's go down. Hey, Krista. So this is camera system. So same thing for the match update, tennis club update, and tennis club update. Right now, this is literally just turning on and off the lights. So I'm gonna go with to do multi matches. Right. So we will deal with this. Then we do update audio, which does this, which doesn't really make sense, but fair enough. And then we also need to do this in here. Okay. Then we take the vibration feedback. Where is this coming from? Vibration feedback. Where are we deciding this vibration feedback? Here it is. Tennis level in the same place where we do the shot feedback. Okay, I can live with that. I can totally live with that. Let's go on. So now we are in render. Okay, so here we can do this and it will work. Match avatar 0 data. Okay, it's not great, but it's good enough. Then render GL, I think is going to be exactly the same thing. So this is going to be match avatar. So we have this idea of the focus player. So it's all good. Quark matrix. So we can do all this stuff. It's only going to be relative to the current player. So it's not great that we are doing all this access by index like this, but you know, we don't care about performance at the moment. We care about something that kind of works. Okay, so where are we? We're still in render GL. Just debug stuff, so don't care at all about performance. Render debug UI. So here, if we don't have that, we return. Match state is this one. And again, okay, so here it's self match avatar match state. Can we do that? And match avatars. Okay. And then this one is also like this. Match stats. Same stuff here. I'm not sure Ras is going to be happy about all this thing that I'm doing, but we're going to give it a try. Where are we? Shot feedback. They were still rendering the debug UI, so this is still this. And this is still UI. So match stats, we don't have it anymore. So what we're going to do is match stats is going to be self match avatars 0 stats. I have a feeling that I keep changing this. I have a feeling that we're going to have the borrow checker yelling at us very soon. Very, very soon. All right. So now we're back here. This is the score. And again, this avatars 0. I'll deal with that. Avatars, okay. And okay, so okay, so here is the border checker yelling at us. It doesn't like that. And let's see why it doesn't like that. We're doing the same thing. We're borrowing this match state. Okay, so we're doing all this. Why we're doing it all? Why we're doing it 2 times? So render debug UI, blah blah blah. This is our match state. So I think we don't need to do this, but this is gonna be a little bit dangerous. Where this? Okay, it's not bad. So this goes away. Cannot borrow match state as mutable. Why you think you want to borrow it as mutable? Why you think you need to borrow it as mutable? Ah, because of that. Okay, so let's grab it as mutable. And we can't. Right. Oh man. Okay, how about if we do this inside lambda? How about we do it here? Ah, you like that. You like that, don't you? All right. So where are we? We're still in this thing. Okay, so match state. Okay, because now it disappeared, right? Our match state. Okay, I think I can do this thing. I can do it here. Early return. And then I think this one, I can move it. So I can go down here. This terrible way of doing it, but these are all debug screens. So literally who cares, right? These are all temporary debug stuff that are gonna be implemented in a different way. So we really don't care. So we're still back into this problem because so interesting, it says that the variable doesn't have to be mutable, which makes sense because it is a reference to a mutable shit and it's fine. So now we cannot grab this match avatar because it is taken here. I could probably, because I think match state is a copy. Yeah, it's copy. So I could just do this, right? The problem is that, yeah, I'm not changing it if I do this. Hold on. Let me think. I mean, I could do something like this. Is really shitty because we do this. Okay, so let me check. And now, okay, so here is where we're actually making the change to the match state. But it's fine because we don't really want to change the one in there. We just need a temporary one that we need to send to the result. So I think we're all good. I think we're all good. So that's good. All right. So that builds. So we did all this to come back exactly where we were. But now we have this vector of match status, right? So the game still works. Okay. Now the next step is going to be when we have our function run, takes a match data as an input. And what we're going to do is instead of a match data, we're going to get a vec on match data, right? Match datas. All right. That means that the number of matches that we actually have to create is not one anymore, but it's n, right? So this is going to be match data's map, ether map, right? Is our data, and we map into a new match. Right. Okay. So now we have sims. Let's have like matches. Okay. Matches makes more sense. All right. So now we keep the thing that only the first match is the actual match of the player. So for example, when we do this, we do matches 0. Right? Cannot index into a value. Yes, I need to collect, and probably I will have to tell him what it is. So it's a vector of match. All right. So this become this. All right. Then we need to do this thing. Okay, one thing that I for sure I wanted to do is let mutable time. I want to have a time here, which is 0, right? And what I want to do is here. So if time minus now is more than this, we change time. Oh, let's give it a better name. Let's give it simulation time, something like that. All right, simulation time. So now what we do is that while simulation time is less than now, we have to do this for the entire thing. So ball events, we don't have to do this anymore, right? Okay, this. It's a little bit confusing, but I don't want to do it now. So let's do for m in matches ether mute. Right? This, and this. All right. Okay, so this is okay. So this is m. Simulation time. Oh, m time. That's fine. We have to do this to do fix that interpolation weirdness. Okay. Then it's this. Ah, shit. We need this. Haha. We need a bunch of these, right? So what we had here, this match stats becomes a vector of match stat that is big like matches len. Davros asking AI about neural net animation. Just use it as a reference. I don't want to write it for me. It seems to just suggest 300,000 1 million parameters will handle a bone level character controller for 20-30 bones. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of stuff that I'm not gonna do. A lot of stuff that I'm not gonna do. um, mm, cannot move out of data. How I do, is it in Twitter to actually ether in Twitter like this? No. How I consume, because I cannot really consume. Because basically I cannot, how I consume a vector in Rust. Rust, consume a vector. Is that possible? Into ether, right. So into, I remember ether. And then now this is a data. Okay, that's good. This sort of thing would have been impossible to have in PlayStation 2. Became viable in PS4. All right, so the last thing to do before we actually kick off our first multiple match is that now match data yeah, for now we can just do like a back of match data like this, right? Okay, so this again should work with only one match, and I think we're ready. I think we're ready. We are ready for a multiple match. Oh, this is broken. What's going on here? Ah, I know what's going on. Did I completely kill my computer? Okay, so I know what's going on. We have to increase our time. So simulation time plus equal physics dt. That's why. What's wrong? As F64, right? Okay, so this is still working. So we're happy that it still works. Let's go. So we're ready to create multiple matches. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Because we're getting a single match data to start our level, which is fine. We can simulate this, right? So what we can do, I think we can do this, right? So match avatar. So let's do this. So let's create a match datas, right? Which is basically a vec that has got our match data, right? And then another match data. See how big is this match data that we need to fill. So we need to fill a match ID. We don't, none. A tennis club, and it's going to be match data. Ah, shit, because, okay. How are we going to do this? I don't think I have a default. How are we going to do this? So we're going to do this, and then we're going to need the players. Is it an entire player data? Oh, shit. Okay. Okay, so this is more complex than I thought. I have a feeling that it's much easier to do it outside. I mean, I could, for now, create a players DB. Well, it's very slow what I'm doing. But, you know. No, I have to do like an entire save game, something like that. Saved game. Save game. New. All right. So this is going to get our save game. And now we can go into the players. Right? And the players is going to be, yeah, it's going to be basically saved game. So we need to solve this thing first. Ciao, Roberto. I'm working on trying to get more matches to play around us, which is going to be super cool. Super, super cool. Tennis clubs. I think tennis club. Is it an entire tennis club or is it an AD? Let's have a look. Match data. Tennis club data. So it is an entire tennis club. So we need these tennis clubs. So we need these tennis clubs. So let's go. Tennis clubs. So why cannot find tennis clubs? So it's create. Yeah, we are okay. Create launcher tennis clubs 1, I think. All right. So now players is gonna be saved game. Is it because it doesn't know what this is? Saved game. So this create saved game, saved game. Now you know what saved game is. Nope. Fuck me. Saved game, players DB, players. So let's get the match between player 12 and player 13. No idea who they are. Cannot move out of index. Yeah. Clone. All right. Then court data is gonna be court data, and this is going to be Jesus. Match and score rules. Okay, so the only thing is missing is the court data. Okay. Okay. And court data is gonna be all this bullshit. But what we does it have a default? I think it has a default, and you only care about court number. Court number is going to be, I don't know, 2. Okay. So that's our match dates. So match avatars now becomes match data ether map Okay, and this MD. And then we collect into it. And now we have 2 match avatars. And finally, we bring in the match datas. That's it. That's it. Okay. Moment of, are we going to get 2 matches? Okay. So, nah, we're almost there. Okay. So we do have 2 matches, but they're playing on the same court. Okay. So it is progress, but it's interesting. This could be like a potential double match going on. All right. So why they're playing on the same court? Because we say court 2. So why they're playing on the same court? Yeah. Because when we get here, court matrix, hold on, because this is really dumb. Why the court matrix, we're taking it from outside? Court matrix, tennis club court matrix. Oh, fuck me. Okay. So that's not ideal. Oh, did I? First of all, this is really dumb. Okay. So we were doing all these things. So tennis club is just tennis club, right? So we don't have to do all this, right? Tennis club is just tennis club clone or something like that. What happened to my tennis club here? Tennis club. Okay, tennis. Okay, that's not what it is, isn't it? Okay. Stop. Go back. All right. So we need to pass in the court matrix. I'm not happy about this. Can we do it better? Should I pass in like the entire tennis club? I think it's a much better interface. Instead of this, can I pass in a tennis club? Right? And then, so tennis club. What the fuck? Tennis club data. Okay. Tennis club avatar. Right. Okay, that's what we want. Tennis club avatar. And then the tennis club avatar, we're going to say court matrix of which court, of court number, where is it? Data, court number. All right, that should do it. All right, so down here, instead of these string props, so we have to do the same thing here. So the court matrix is this guy. Okay, so the color send us a tennis club. Okay, that sounds good. So tennis court matrix, we don't need it anymore. All right, let's try again. Hey, love your work with Assetto Corsa. Thanks a lot. I'm not a game developer, but I know people use game engines like Unity and Unreal to create games. But what you're doing here, are you creating stuff from the ground up with Rust? That's correct. That's correct. So obviously there are different ways to create games, and one way is the old style. Let me close this. So one way is the old style way, which is the way I do it, where you basically write your own engine. And the more contemporary way is that you use something like Unity, Unreal, Godot, whatever, right? The main difference between the two approaches is that engines like Unity and Unreal, they give you a lot of things. And it's very nice because obviously it means that you can, from day one, if you are a little bit familiar with this, it means you can just jump in and start working on your game. The downside of that is that, first of all, you need to get familiar. You really need to learn the way they work. So there is a learning curve involved. And the other thing is that they tend to be very big, and they do a lot of things that it's not that every game needs the things that they do. So if you do your own engine, first of all, for me, it's way more fun. So I do it because it's more fun for me. So that's the real serious question that I can give. The serious answer that I can give you is that, I do it because for me it's more fun. If I use something like Unity or Unreal, I lose interest. I lose interest in a project, and a game is something that takes a long time. And when I say a long time, you have to think about something like Assetto Corsa will take you, 4 or 5 years to make. Right? So it's a big part of your life that you're spending doing that thing. And something like my last game, Hydrofall Generation, that was about sailing. It took me about 3.5 years to do. And now this tennis game, I am a couple of months in, and I hope to be able to finish it in 2 years. So you have to spend a very long time working on this thing, and the ability to remain in a state where you are excited about working with it, for me, is very important. And I found that if I use something like Unity or Unreal and so on, because I lose that feeling of I made this, right? I don't feel like I made it. I feel like, okay, it's pretty because the engineers that wrote Unreal Engine did a good job for the renderer, stuff like that. So I feel like detached. And what happens is that eventually I kind of lose interest in the game, and you need to have that ability to remain attached and excited about your this game that you're doing for years, right? So for me, it's very important to do it in a technology that I really love, right? Yeah, motivation. That's the word that I was looking for, right? So for me, it's very, very important to do it with the technology that I like, with the tool that I like. So the editor has to be the editor and makes me feel productive. I have to feel like I know the entire system inside out because I wrote all of it. And when I look at it, I like to look at it and it feels like I actually made it. Like, nothing existed right before I started to write this game, and now it exists. And I wrote all of it, right? So, and it's not a very mature motivation, but it is what it is, right? I know a few things about working on a project for a long time. Yeah, I think everybody that works is not something that only game developers do is, you know, if you work on a software, any software or any other kind of project that's it's a big project, there are projects that take years, and obviously you know, if you do it because it's your job, your motivation, part of your motivation is that you get salary at the end of the month. In a case of a, you know, independent developer like me, I don't have that motivation. I don't get money at the end of the month, so I need the extra motivation to actually make me put the hours into this for like years, hoping that eventually you release and enough people are gonna like what you did and they will buy it, right? So you can get to make another game, right? So yeah, that was a very long answer. Sorry. We missed the moment that actually it's working. So actually we got a match going on court number 2. You know, so right now one thing that I like is that at least the first point, it really starts in sync. So they kind of play in sync, but look at this. This is like a vision. Right? I envisioned this, and now it's here. We got multiple matches. Okay, is this girl actually playing? Yeah, she's playing. Okay. That is so cool, man. That is so cool. This is gonna be my Saturday screenshot. And okay, so now let's go. We did 2, let's do 3. Haha, and now we're really cooking. Right? So now we play court number 3, and we will have player number 22 and player number 23. Right? And this should happen automatically, right? I don't have to do anything else. Yeah. So now we're just... It takes quite a long time to load. Look at this. Because we are reloading the same 3D models over and over. I'm gonna try in release mode to see. And there you go. Now we have 3 matches going. This is so cool. This is so cool. Now, one thing that we can notice is that the audio doesn't understand. So we can hear all the hits and all the bounce. They sound like they're coming from this chord, while in reality they are coming from the other chords there. So let's fix that. This is really great, you know, it's really great, and it could be like this kind of screenshot. Got a preview of the screenshot that I'm gonna have on Twitter Saturday. So difficult to move the camera when I'm zoomed like this. There you go. Very cool. I cannot catch a good screenshot. Sadly, I don't have replay working because now, you know. It's so cool. Very happy. All right, let me commit this. First multi-match working. And let's fix that audio. I guess I will try 50. I can't. I think I have nine chords. I think I have 9 chords. We can do 4. Let's do 4 just for a while. You know, we're gonna do 4, and we're gonna use release mode. I'm curious how quickly it can load. So let's go tennis release. So we're gonna try in release mode. I don't think we're gonna gain a lot. And as I said, it's not a problem that I'm gonna worry about today, but it shouldn't be that difficult. It should be very easy actually to implement some kind of cache on the. Let's see how long it's gonna take. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad, right? And now we got 1, 2, 3, and there should be somebody else here. There you go. And this is actually cool because when we play, I think when we play probably on the other side, we should be able to see it, right? So I think that once we will go and play here, yeah, we should be able to see, yeah, that they're playing there and also there. This is so cool. I'm so happy. This is so cool. Super cool. Super cool. I'm so happy. All right, let's fix this audio. So when we do update audio, so let's see what we're doing. Okay, so we're sending the court matrix. So what's going on here? Yeah, because the ball is coming. Okay, so I think what we need to do for real, self audio update. How are we gonna do this? So let me think. So let's write this one first. Let's try to understand what we need here. Because I think, so this is the ball. And the ball we need just this. And in order to make this work, we need to have the tennis club avatar. So we need instead of the court matrix, we need a tennis club, right? Tennis club avatar. So we can get the court matrix, right? So what is happening is that instead of passing the court matrix, right, when we get this, we're gonna say let court matrix is gonna be tennis club court matrix match state of court number. Boom. So this fixed that. Then when it comes to the player, okay, so the player we're only doing, okay, so let's do all the players. So in order to do that, I think we need to send all the match avatars, probably. The problem is that, yeah, we don't have, so the squeak, I only have a squeak command. Get event, yeah. I only have the squeak for this. So this one, we're gonna do it in a different way. So for now, the squeak of the player, we keep it only for the current court. I think we can live with that. So we can say court matrix is tennis club court matrix of match state court number. This should already fix it. So let's fix the caller, where instead of the court matrix, we are sending in the entire tennis club thing, self tennis club. But you know, to do it properly, if I want to do it properly, it's like, I think every match avatar should have its own audio. I think that's the real solution. So let me get this to work, and I think I'm gonna try to do it. Imagine customizable characters, unlockable outfits. We're gonna do that. That's part of the plan of the game. It's gonna be, one of the things that are going to make you want to progress. So the idea is that we're gonna have some kind of outfit that you can unlock, and they are probably coming as some sort of sponsor, right? So if you progress, there will be like a brand sponsor that will approach you and say, hey, do you want to become a brand, do you want to be with us? And at that point you can choose all the outfit from that sponsor. So I think that would be really, really cool. And what I was saying is also the girls are gonna have like 2 outfits. So you're gonna have an outfit for tournaments, which is gonna be more like a tennis outfit. We're going to get creative, right? So it's one of the things that makes my wife excited to work on this game, because she get to design clothes. So we're gonna get creative. We're gonna get things that are not maybe realistic. So for example, tall shoes or nonsense like that. But it is that we might have a situation where we have an outfit for the tournament and outfit for training. So the outfit for training, we're gonna go even more wild, right? When it comes to outfit for training. Will there be a male character for the first game? I don't think so. I think probably we will have a male character for a coach. So when you train, there's going to be a coach feeding balls or something like that. So we're going to have a male character as a coach. And the boys could be a first DLC in the future. Who knows? Hopefully, I hope so. At the end, if you get to do a DLC in a game, it means that the game is reach, enough big of a number to justify a DLC. So I hope so. I think I saw waifu tennis on the title screen. Yeah, every day I put something stupid in the title screen. So yeah, it's obviously I'm not gonna call it waifu tennis. The name will come. I think the way I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna call it the tennis game up to the moment when I will actually, I already have a name in my head, but I will actually start to call it that name the moment that I have a Steam page up. And that's gonna happen, if everything goes according to plan, that might happen sometimes next year. This time next year, probably like that. Bikini tennis, yeah, we can do like the new Dead or Alive, dedicated to tennis. So, we'll see. This is something that is part of the excitement about doing a game like this, because we still don't know what game it is, right? Because obviously, if you follow my streams in the last couple of months, you see that right now I'm spending a lot of time doing very tennis stuff. So I would like for this game to be kind of surprise. For people that like tennis, maybe they will see like anime girls and they will think, okay, this is gonna be just a stupid game or something like that. And then it would be cool if they actually try to play the game and go like, hey, this is actually a tennis game. This is a tennis game, that is hidden inside the girl with outfits and all this kind of stuff. So that would be cool. But we still don't know what kind of game we have. And we still don't know what kind of potential players we have. You know, do we have players that want to do the outfit thing? You know, are we gonna have more gooners or more people that want to play tennis? I don't know. I have no idea, right? Because also we still don't know how far we will be able to, you know, how good is gonna be our graphics, our animation. No idea what the situation is gonna be in a couple of years. You know? But that's what makes it exciting. But it's nice for me to finally have this. Like, you know, I've been talking about this for months. Like, we're gonna have, you know, and I was telling my wife, oh, maybe a tennis club with multiple courts because we're gonna have multiple matches going on. Here we go. Here it is. It's finally there. This is so incredibly cool. Really, really, really cool. I think the audio is working. There is one thing that I notice is that, and it's expected, sometimes I miss some events, and I think the reason is that if we had two ball hit at very close to each other, because the actual event is only one, it gets overwritten. So we can only hear one ball hit at a time. So it's a very small sample, but only one can play at a time. That's why I think the audio should become part of the match avatar. So every match should have its own audio with its own samples. And you can have, you know, the squeaks and stuff. This is so cool. It's incredibly cool. I'm happy. Tifa Lockhart, yeah, they will totally sue me. Sue me so bad. You know, that's one of the advantages if you leave the door open for modding, right? Somebody will make it happen. Will you make the matches on the other course decrease as tournament progresses? Yes or no, because you have to think that when you play this kind of tournaments, you know, the tennis club is still tennis club. So it happens that you get to play your final, and there are people on the other court that just rented the court. So it's not strictly that if you play the final, you're going to be the only one in the club playing tennis. Right? So yes and no. So and that could become a complication because potentially they could be actually playing the matches that are in your round, right? So if you are in a tournament, that question was from YouTube, by the way, guys. So if you are in a tournament, you can think about a situation that if I go on the court now, you know, I might have these matches playing around me, which will make total sense. The difficult part would be to handle a situation where you are done with your match and they are not done with their match yet. Because right now I can run the entire match, you know, as fast as possible. So it takes about half a second to simulate an entire match for now. So it's not that difficult. I will have basically to have a mode where I can send a command and say, okay, player is done, just finished all the other matches as quickly as possible. So when we come back in the tournament, you will get all the thing. And I think that's something that it's actually could have a huge potential, because if you get to a point where I would really like is the fact that you will get to know your opponents, right? So you will get to know. That's why I want to keep the number of opponents in a season to 32, because I think 32 is big enough that you get to do a tournament where you have to win 5 matches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches to win the tournament, which is cool. And it's small enough that possibly you get to recognize your opponents, right? Once we as soon we start to have like models with different hair, so it's not just the outfit and the skin color, different hair, the hair is the biggest one that you get. Oh, the different boobs. It's like, this is the one with the big boobs. I recognize her. She's playing in the court next to mine. So it's actually cool that you get to see those girls playing on the court around you. I think it's a cool thing. You feel like you're in a world that is doing the thing, right? This is a world that is doing the thing. It's playing tennis. It would be cool also that when you get to train, there are also going to be girls training and doing the drills around you or practicing or whatever, right? And you get to recognize them. And it's I wonder how. Let me check how. You know that I'm still not convinced which view the game is going to have, because right now we're using this more like television view, which makes sense. But the game also had this view, and this view is interesting because you get to actually see more of the tennis club. Definitely you get to see way more of the tennis club. But I need to sort out that fence thing if I want to keep this one. And yeah, I will have to take a decision of which view I want. This one, I like it because it's very unique. I don't think there are many tennis games, if any, that have this kind of view. It comes with a couple of problems. And it also requires a much more detailed graphics, right? Because you can see that in this view, everything is potentially bigger on the screen. So the girl is bigger, so everything has to be better. Like, anything from the animation of the hair, the shading, the model, and the court is bigger, so it needs more details, the ball, and so on. Like, so it requires a lot of more detail. You can actually, I like the fact that you can see a lot more of the tennis club. You get to see, now we're playing here, look how cool it is. You actually get to see the entire tennis club. If we are here, you still see the tennis club, but you lose that kind of thing. On the other hand, I think the game looks prettier like this. I think it looks prettier. I think the character at this size look much better. Probably because they are designed to be this size. So, and everything is more controllable. Like, things like the bench is never gonna be this big, right? So we don't need to have a huge amount of details here. So you can design things to be this size on the screen, and it's a different thing. We don't get to see all the trees and all the stuff that are around, but it's something that, yeah, I mentioned. And also, I think from a gameplay point of view, I think you see better what's going on here when you play. So. Interesting. We're seeing. Okay, I need to filter the. I noticed right now that we're getting all the numbers. So when the other girls are hitting, we're getting all the numbers here. So we need to filter those to be in the same court of our court. Okay, that's cool. But I would say I would just take the W today and say that, what is it? Multi-match. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it at a very short stream. Waifu tennis with neural jiggle physics. Yeah, I don't think you need AI to do that. I think we humans know enough about that. We can do that. It will be armature only or prof from the bottom up, because at a certain point, drug testing will be a thing. What? Amateur only or professional from the bottom up? Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I mean, you can imagine if girls also, you know, it's quite easy actually to do. It's quite easy to have like girls that maybe girls that grunt when they hit the ball, girls that grunt only when they go big on the ball, girls that get angry. You know, potentially we could have girls that cheat, right? Because the idea is that at a very low level, you make your own calls. So right now you hear the voice, this magic voice coming from, you know, who knows who, because there is no judge on the court that is calling the ball out. And I'm thinking actually to get a girl to call it out. And you might have girls that cheat a little bit. And you have to live with it, because that's a part of amateur tennis. That's part of amateur tennis, that you get to play with people that do very dubious calls, right? Last year in Netherlands has a fantastic system where you can play amateur tennis during the spring, summer, and you can, because the Netherlands is such a compact country. I basically almost played a tournament every week, so I almost did like a professional tennis rhythm, where every week I was going to a different club, to a different tournament, and obviously I had my fair share of crazy calls, like, you know, a guy that, you know, on a something ridiculous like 5-5 on a tie break, you know, I serve an ace and he calls it out, and it was like this in, even with the mark. I'm not the kind of guy that likes to argue, so I always let it go. I was like, all right, whatever. You call it out, because I know you can make mistakes. You can make honest mistakes. You know, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to judge a ball while you're playing. You know, you're tired, you're sweaty, you don't see that well, and you really, really, really wish that the ball goes out, right? So you want to see it out. So I totally understand, and I'm sure that I also make my mistakes when I call some balls out, for sure. I try not to, but, you know, I'm not that young, so my eyes are not that good. So I might miss some ball. Yeah, the volleys are still too good. So the volleys are still like as good as they can be. Something else that they're doing right now, I don't know if you saw it. You saw it yesterday. I think I showed it yesterday. The things that the girls do now. So there are a couple of things that they do that are cool. So let me show them before we finish the stream. Which I think, sadly I don't have the replay anymore. Probably I can pause, but I don't have a replay because it's broken with the multi-thread thing that I did. But one thing that the girls do, you see it right there, they look at the ball. So now the head of the girls is looking at the ball. Let me activate the eye. So you see, yeah, so hopefully you can see. It's much easier to see when, yeah, you see, it's much easier to see it when you watch a replay, and you can go like slow motion. You can really see like, you know, the girl following the thing. The other thing that now they do is they give up when the ball is too far. they don't just stupidly run on the ball. So in this case, I think she gave up too easily. So at the net, they're still not doing it very well. But you get situations where, you know, now they don't just run after every ball stupidly. They go like, okay, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to be able to take it. So why run? why waste energy? And also there is a fundamentally different way the racket is making contact with the ball. So I changed something at the bottom of how the simulation works. And so now that was a fantastic volley. So now so you see, for example, that one, she didn't even move. She just looked at the ball. It was like, okay, I won't be able to get there. Well done, you. Yeah. And they kind of, there, for example, she moved a little bit and then she gave up. Right. So it's not that they gave up immediately. So it's all try to create different situations, right? But I really don't like in tennis when you see the AI always chasing every single ball, even though they have absolutely no hope to get it. First of all, it's way more satisfying, you know, when you go when you hit a shot that is that good that the opponent doesn't even move, because it's like, all right, I will not make it. It's much more. It's like in football, right? In football, when you shoot so well that the goalkeeper just looks at the ball, and the ball goes in, right? It's cool. So it's also cool if the goalkeeper makes a nice jump and almost get it. What will be really weird to see is that if you shoot at the goal and that the goalkeeper is nowhere near able to get to the ball and he jumps anyway and he misses it by 5 meters, right? It will look ridiculous. Right? So these are all small things that, you know, coming from old sports game on a Commodore 64, I always said, okay, if I get to make a sports game, I'm not going to do that. So now this is happening. And you can kind of see that, you know, when it comes to the distance, you know, this distance with the ball, the way they hit the ball is way more coherent with where the ball is. You know, before we really had situations where, you know, they will swing and the ball will be like 1.5 meters in front and they will hit it. It will look really weird. That, for example, was very cool that she didn't move in that shot. It was like, okay, I'm not going to be able to get that. All right. So, yeah, good progress today. I'm actually pretty happy. Pretty happy. All right, guys. I think I'm going to end up early today. I also streamed this morning, so I stopped with a win. So as usual, thank you very much, and I will see you guys next time. Ciao, 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 ciao.